Going to be a Beetlejuice tutorial. I love Beetlejuice since I was a kid. It was like one of my favorite movies, and it kind of sort of got me into figuring out, ooh, how can I make myself look like that? Last year for Halloween, me and Eric were Lydia and Beetlejuice, and since I posted the pictures on like everywhere, everyone's been asking me to do a tutorial for it. So this is how I did the makeup on Eric, minus the scruff, because he's a guy, he already had scruff. So yeah, like I said, I love Beetlejuice, and not to mention this is probably my third tutorial of makeup that V Neil has done, so everyone knows my love for V Neil. If you know who V Neil is, she's a judge on Face Off, and she's also a completely amazing makeup artist, so yeah. If you guys want to see how to turn into the ghost with the most, then stay tuned. It's showtime! Okay, so the first step that I've already kind of started was like the moss that grows on, or mildew or mold, whatever it is that grows on Beetlejuice's side of his face. That's what I decided to start with. So to get that effect, I took toilet paper, some liquid latex. You can get this at like any party or Halloween store. I got mine at Spirit Halloween. And a sponge or a brush. Now I just took a little bit of the liquid latex into my palette and poured very little of it in there. Now if you do that, you're probably going to have to scrape it out later, but I have like a designated little spot that's just for my liquid latex. And you're going to take the toilet paper. And what you're basically going to do is just pull apart like little pieces, like that. And you're going to take your sponge and just kind of dip it into the liquid latex. And you're going to dab a little bit on your cheek. Kind of take the toilet paper and bunch it up a little bit. And just kind of stick it there, and then take a little bit more of liquid latex onto your sponge, and just kind of go over it and dab and kind of get it onto the skin. You can also use scar putty to do this. I just found that last year when I was experimenting on Eric, trying to figure out the best way to do it, this worked the best for me. So I'm just gonna do the rest of the mold and mildew, and I'll be right back. Okay, I've already gone and started this side while the latex dried up. And if you can see, I brought it all the way up here. So now what I am going to do is I'm going to take my white face paint. You can get this at any like party, Halloween store, even like some CVS's, Walmart's, and Rite Aid's carry it, on a foundation brush. And I'm just gonna put this all over my face. Well, I am going to put some of it over where the mold and moss is going to be, but we're going to go over that with green anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And this doesn't have to be perfect. Making it a little bit patchier and not so perfect kind of gives it just a little bit more character, because Beetlejuice's white makeup wasn't, you know, completely perfect. Okay, now after that, I'm going to start the eyes. You can do this a couple of ways. You can use white face cream You can use, this is the black part of my bruise kit. You can use anything like that. I'm just going to take a craft brush and the black part of my bruise kit. I'm just going to paint the circles around the eyes. Now the cream part doesn't have to be perfect because I'm going to go over with eyeshadow and eyes. Doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to go over that. So now I'm just going to take my e.l.f. crease brush and dip it into a matte black from my Coastal Scents palette. I'm just going to start to fill in over. Now this also doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to go over it with one more color. But you do want to get it pretty filled in. Once you get the black the way you want it, you're going to take kind of like a dark purplish pinkish color. I am going to be using this color right here from my Coastal Scents palette. Any color, as long as it's matte, will do. Tap off the excess, and I'm just going to kind of put it on like the outside of it and just kind of like smear it around. Because Beetlejuice's eyes aren't all black. You notice it more in the cartoon. It's like a darkened purple. So I'm just doing that effect. And also while you're doing that, kind of smudge everything out on the end so it makes it like no clean lines. This his is kind of smeary. It's time to get to the fungus, which is probably one of my favorite parts. Now you can take a cream makeup in green, which is what I'm going to be using first, just to kind of add the color. I can get some out. I'm just taking that on my palette. Like I said, you can get these at any Halloween store. And I'm just going to take kind of like a craft brush, like so, and just take it very little at a time and just kind of paint over. This I learned to do like in just like stroke, so you get like different concentrations of the paint. Works best because I'm going to go over it and shade it anyways, but this kind of makes it so it's not all uniformed and it's just kind of scattered. If I can find it, it's just an Ingold craft brush, and I'm gonna do a mixture of all of my greens. Don't you hate when you put on makeup and right when you put on the makeup it starts to itch right in that area? Okay, so I'm gonna do a mixture of all these greens and just kind of do some shading where the moss is. Darks, lights, all of them, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm taking the darker ones more so close to the inside of my face. And then I'm going to outline the mildew and moss with like the lime green ones just to kind of make it look a lot more disgusting. Okay, so if you want to do the stubble, all you're going to need is a stippling brush, dip it into matte black and kind of like a matte brown color, and you're just going to pounce it on your skin. So there you go. Now all you have to do is get your favorite Beetlejuice attire. I have a striped blazer. Kind of mess up your hair. You can spray it green and gross. His hair's like gray and green, but whatever. I didn't wash my hair yesterday, so I could kind of make it look like I just woke up from like being dead and shit. And put on, there's also the checkered black shirt. There's so many possibilities to the outfit. So this is my Beetlejuice outfit. Yeah. I hope you guys like this tutorial, and if you want to see more tutorials like this one, like this post. So I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!